So we're going to start our scene over. We're going to go up to the top left. We're going to go to File, Reset. Yes. So we're going to go to File, Create. So we're going to go to Create, Standard Primitives, and Box. So if you go to your top viewpoint, we're just going to drag that out. So if you don't let go of the mouse, you can create its size, right? So let's try to get as perfect a square as we can. And now if you let go of your mouse, you'll be able to add depth. So we're gonna do something like that. Though in order to get the specific size that we want, we're gonna manipulate it over here. So we're gonna do 100, 110, and that'll give us a good starting point for our chair. So if you go to Select and Move, or W on your keyboard, and we're going to drag that up to about here. We're going to try to give some room so we can put some legs on our chair here. And your hand tool, which is your middle mouse button, move your screen around. Alright, so now we're going to try to add some more segments to this box here. If you go to the Modify tab on the right hand side, you'll see it's this little bendy object here. You'll see the parameters of our object. So right now 100 length, 100 width, 10 height. So we're going to add a couple segments to it. What segments are, that's what actually makes up the object itself. So we're going to add a couple length segments here and a couple width segments here. So you'll see now that our object is made up of various planes. So that should be enough for this tutorial. But if you look at your modifier list here, this is everything that you can. These are a bunch of presets, if you will, for modifying your object. So for example, if we look at ripple, it'll add a ripple effect to our object. We don't have a lot of vertices, so we won't see much of a difference. So if we had much more segments, so if we go back to box and we add a lot of segments to our object, we'll get a much more detailed ripple. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do 3 and 3. And we're going to delete that ripple modifier. So if we go back to the modifier list and we go to Edit Poly, this is going to be the most frequently used modifier. We use this to modify the polygons within the object. So if you look under Selection, it'll have the different aspects of our object that we can manipulate. So we're going to look at the vertex. Each of these are vertices. So if you click on one, see how you can move each individual part of the object. Do the line. Border we don't need to worry about right now. Polygon. And then if you click the last one, that actually selects the entire object. Another one that we're actually not going to worry about right now. So let's go back to vertice, and we're going to organize our viewpoints here. We're going to highlight this row here on the side. So we're going to actually be trying to make these small squares on the corners of this object that we have here, and that's how we're going to extrude the legs of our chair. So we're first going to highlight this row here, and we're going to just drag that on over to about there. We're going to do the same for this row. Drag that over to here. And now we're going to come down to this viewpoint, highlight those, and drag those over. Do the same for these here. Drag those over. So notice we have these nice planes, or sorry, nice polygons, square polygons, on the corners of our object. So what we're going to do next is we're going to extrude the legs of the chair. So if we go to the polygon selection, click that, we're going to click each of these polygons. So in order to select more than one, you're going to have to hold down Control on your keyboard. So we're going to select all 4 of those. So if you go back to the right hand side here on the modifier, there's a category called Edit Polygons, and we're going to be looking at Extrude. So if you click the extrude word here, you'll see when you drag over the highlighted polygon, this little modifier comes up, and if you just click and hold and drag, you can drag out your legs. So we could do that, or another way to do that is if you click on this little box next to extrude, we'll be able to have much more control over what we're doing. So this is the preferred way to extrude, just because you can be so specific. So I'm going to type in 70, and I'm going to hit the check mark here. I'm going to hit OK. So if we're going to orbit around, or sorry, my program's acting a little odd. So if you hold down Alt and the middle button, it'll allow you to orbit. Just get a bit better of a viewpoint here. And so that is now the base of our chair. Now we're going to have to make the back of the chair. So again, to do this, we're going to go to select polygon. We're going to select the back of the chair. And now we're going to go down to extrude. And I'm just going to leave it at 70 to keep everything even. Actually, we'll bring this up to 90 and hit OK. And so now we have a very simple basic chair. Now in order to create a ground for the chair, we're going to go to Create, Standard Primitives, Plane. And I'm going to zoom out on the top viewpoint here, and I'm going to just drag out a plane. I'm actually going to get it a lot bigger than this. We're going to do 750 by 750, which will be good enough for the purposes that we will be using it for. So right now we have a chair and a plane.